joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
No, that was written by Gary Lynn Floyd. That's a great song, isn't it?
Now that Richard and I have gotten together and talk with you guys, okay?
Now plans.
Thank you. I want to welcome each of you here today. It's kind of an exciting day. It's not kind of. It's an exciting day. We have an annual meeting coming up. We have a lot of things going on in this ministry, and we're going to share that with you today. We also know that when we come together, that we can literally, consciously feel one another. That we can feel the power of spirit moving in the room. That at unity we understand that spirit is our beingness. And our beingness is that consciousness that we have when we step into this place and feel the presence of one another. When we feel the presence of one another, we are able to say that we are practical, progressive, and positive. That's what I'm trying to be. That's it, okay. Positive Christianity. And we celebrate that together. And so we do so by sharing together our mission statement. Or is it a vision statement? Let me look. Everybody knows but me, but anybody. Okay, it's our vision statement. A spiritually awakened world living in peace, love, and joy. And then we have our mission statement, which is, together, we are transformed lives, transforming the world. So let's move into that process by going into prayer. And I invite you to feel yourself in your seat. Take a breath. And feel the life within you. A life that is filled with opportunity. A life that is filled with awareness. A life that is filled with compassion. And know that here together, here at Unity Renaissance, we care about each other, and we demonstrate that in the way that we work with each other, the way that we are supporting each other, knowing that the Spirit of the Christ brings us together in our oneness. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.
such a holy place. You are deepest joy, deepest joy is all that you are. You are deepest joy, God, deepest joy is all that you are.
And now is the time in the service where we turn and greet our neighbor with a friendly handshake, bow, or a hug. And please repeat to them the divinity salute. The divine in me greets the divine in you, and we serve and celebrate together for the glory of God.
Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. We are sacred love. Sacred love is all that we are. We are sacred love, God. Sacred love is all that we are. Sacred love is all that we are.
Well done, y'all. Have a seat.
Wow. Wow. Can you guys hear me? Oh, there we go. Woo! Just wow. Being here, I hope you guys can feel it online too, but being here in the sanctuary right now, just wow. I mean, the energy from the first song, totally rocking and grooving and bringing it up, but the sacred love, that just, woo, kind of tingled every cell in my body. Thank you so much for the music team, but for each and every person here in the sanctuary being a part of that and contributing to that. And again, hopefully all of you out there are feeling some of it too, because it is amazing in here, man. Woo! Okay, so hi everybody. I'm Heidi Kohlberg. I am grateful, very grateful member of Unity Renaissance, and it is a divine pleasure to be here this morning with each and every one of you, in here and out there. So let's jump into the word for today. Our word for today is free. Please join me in our affirmation. Divine wisdom, love, and strength guide me to freedom. While I may not be able to control what is happening around me, I have the power to choose my response. Even though it may seem paradoxical, assuming complete responsibility for my actions and choices is the key to my freedom. No one and nothing can make me feel a certain way. Living from this awareness gives me the power to create my life from the inside out. I choose my thoughts, words, and actions. If I don't like what my life is showing me, I have the power to make new choices. I do not squander my spiritual freedom. Other people and worldly situations have no control over me. Taking full responsibility for my life, I am free to create my future by living from my divinity. And that was inspired by our scripture verse, 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 16. As servants of God, live as free people, yet do not use your freedom as a pretext for evil. If you'd like prayer support today, we have a myriad of ways in which you can get that. You can fill out a prayer request form either here in the, actually right outside the sanctuary, by the prayer box and drop it in there, or go online and fill out a prayer request form and submit it. You can also call Silent Unity at 816-969-2000. That is our 24/7 Unity Prayer Ministry, and the people that you have answering the phone are incredible. If you use them, a few different times. And for those of you who are here today, we have our prayer chaplains available to pray with you after the service over in our chapel, and they are standing already, so there you go. Would everyone now please rise and join us for the Lord's Psalm? Thank you.
Holy Creator, we praise your name. Your will in heaven and earth the same. Supply our needs, Lord, from day to day. Let your forgiveness light our way. Lead us away from temptation's hold. Deliver us, Lord, into your fold. For all the kingdom, power, and praise, with you began and with you stays. Holy Creator,
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we have also forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever.
for all the kingdom, power, and praise, with you began and with you stays. Amen. Please be seated. There is a time to be alone. Each one of us a separate being of our own. And there's a time when we conspire to come together and unite our heart's desire to sing in one voice, to feel with one heart, to make a love choice. This is a fine art, to set aside our differences and realize the gift it is to raise a joyous noise in one voice. There is a place that we can go, inside the little private world we call our own. And there's a place we rise above. We unify and celebrate the way we love, to sing in one voice, to feel with one heart, to make a love choice. This is a fine art, to set aside our differences and realize the gift it is to raise a joyous noise in one voice. There is a longing for a place where we all belong. There's never been a better time for us all to sing a song in one voice, to feel with one heart, to make a love choice. This is a fine art, to sing in one voice, to feel with one heart, to make a love choice. This is a fine art, to sing in one voice, to feel with one heart, to make a love choice. This is a fine art, to set aside our differences and realize the gift it is to raise a joyous noise in one voice.
One voice.
One voice. One voice.
That's Nick Hill, everybody. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick. That was beautiful. And the people behind you did a beautiful job also.
The all-boy band.
All right. The joke today is that I'm managing the PowerPoint. And we'll see if I do that or not, okay? You know, no, it is an exciting day, and we can feel it all. But when Heidi came in, I said, good morning. I said, how are you doing? She says, I am feeling spectacular. Life is spectacular. Did it show up here? Yes. Amen. So thank you, Heidi, for that, okay? Getting us moving in the right direction. So today, what I want to do is follow up with last week's message, was kind of, the scientific approach, if you would, depending on what you believe, to consciousness and awareness. And that quantum physics has really been powerful in leading us to an understanding, I think a clearer understanding of who we are, and what we're made up of. And some physicists and biologists would say that they are atheists, that there is no such thing as God out there, and I don't disagree with them with that. And at the same time, they believe in consciousness, but they believe that consciousness comes through the brain. Through the brain. I want you to think about that for a minute. Because what we teach in Unity is consciousness comes from divine mind. Creates divine ideas. And also that it manifests through divine. That there's divine expression in each of us. And that is what controls our brain, by the way, as far as that's my belief system. That's what really controls our brain. And so what happens is that you and I have the ability to choose. I choose, therefore I am. Yeah. And we have this ability to choose. And it's a God-given ability for everybody. And it's a very important ability because what we choose determines on how we show up. What decisions we make determines how our life shows up. How we work with our families, how we work with one another. And we have the ability to choose that. And we have the power to take that choice and put it into beingness. And as we start to look at that, what we start to understand is this idea of consciousness. Now, there are 4 fields of consciousness by some writers. One is the field of consciousness itself, universal consciousness, collective consciousness. The second is the idea that I can be aware of my consciousness, and that there are objects of consciousness that I know are there. Now, you know, one of the things interesting about objects of consciousness, you're sitting in a chair right now. It feels very solid, right? And yet, what we know through quantum physics, it's not solid. Don't fall. Because it acts like it's solid because you choose to believe it's solid. And we choose to believe it's solid. But the truth is that if you looked at the city of New York and looked at how much matter, pure matter, there is in the city of New York, if it were to disappear, all of the emptiness went away, what they say, and it was mashed down to the matter that it is, you would barely be able to see it under a microscope. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? And it's amazing that you and I have the ability to do that, to have a consciousness that creates something that works for us, that we choose that, and we step into that. But it's much bigger than that, because when we choose to be conscious, we have that ability to understand that there is a third part of consciousness, and that's the experience of consciousness, or that we are a witness to our own consciousness. And then, number 4 on consciousness is that in idealistic philosophy, we speak of consciousness as the ground of all being. That's what Unity believes. That's what Charles Fillmore talked about, Myrtle Fillmore talked about, Eric Butterworth talked about, Emily Cady talked about. That we are beingness. And it doesn't sound like much, but it's huge at the same time. And so there's this definition of consciousness that I used last week, and that definition of consciousness says, if I find the right button here we go. Whoops, where'd that one come from? It's pretty. You take over. Thank you. If you can bring it up, can you get to it? I've messed it up here. Like I said, this is an experiment. Oh, here we go. Back a little bit. Consciousness. This should go next. Thank you. Consciousness is the individual awareness of your unique thoughts. Memories, feelings, and sensations. And environments. Essentially, your consciousness is your awareness of yourself and the world around you. However, there is a difference between consciousness and awareness. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. And as we start to look at that difference, we start to understand that each of us relate to things in a different way. For example, next slide, there are these roses. Now, there's a story about a woman who had been married to a fellow for 60 years. And every year that they had been married, roses were delivered. Now, when you start to think about it from a conscious standpoint, the person who delivered them had a sense of what roses were. probably saw them a little differently and had different meaning to that person. The person who received them, his wife, had a consciousness about those roses, and when she'd see a yellow rose, even during the year, it would remind her of her husband and the roses. And then there is the actual rose itself, which has feelings, thorns. It doesn't have, well, it probably has feelings, but anyway, we have feelings about it. We can feel the thorns, we can smell it, we can relate to it, and it gives us a different sense of consciousness. And so as we start to look at that, what we start to understand, I believe, is that, can I try that again? Aha! Is that all of this is coming from the cells in our body. Now, I'm not going to explain this. I can't even pronounce most of the words. So what I want you to do is just see how intricate we've learned cells are. And an interesting thing about cells is that cells have intelligence. Most of us agree with that today. If you'd have said that in 1950, people thought you were crazy. If you said it when Myrtle Fillmore said it, in 1885, 86, they would have really said you were crazy. But she believed in the intelligence of cells and that you and I had the ability to direct cells. Now, as they've studied more about cells, initially when they said they were intelligent, they said that cells are intelligent, but they need to be directed. They need to be directed. Now today what they know is that cells have intelligence to decide whether or not it wants to connect with another cell, wants to reproduce itself. It makes those decisions. And cells do not have brains. Cells do not have brains. And as we start to understand that, what happens is we start to understand, I think, my interpretation of what Jesus understood. See, I think Jesus understood this, that cells had intelligence, that you can manage the cells in your body, that you can cure, be healed through the power of the cells in your body. And as he understood that, he was able to demonstrate that through what we call miracles, that Jesus would have said aren't miracles at all. It's just the way life is. It's the way we can manage our lives. And I've seen, and I know many of you have, people who have done exactly that. Cells that were not supposed to be alive in them came back alive. They became healthy. People who said, you're going to die, the doctor said, you're going to die within 3 months, are still here today after 5, 10, 15 years. Because doctors don't know that you're going to heal or not heal. Because they may not understand your belief system and understand how you can manage the cells in your body to live fully and to heal. Cells are healing instruments. They're built that way. And sometimes it doesn't work, and I know that. But many times it does. It works every day. Do you know that we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 183 million cells in our bodies? When I started talking about this 25 years ago, we only had 60 million. I guess that weight that I picked up had something to do with that. So as we start to look at this and move from self, it says the phrase, I think, therefore I am, means that thinking is the one thing that cannot be faked. It is the one thing that individuals know they exist. It's the one thing that individuals know they exist. It was first used by philosopher Rene Descartes. Thank you. That's close. Descartes, I think it is. Anyway, and what he was saying is that you and I have ability to be self-aware. The difference between consciousness and the ability to be self-aware can be explained in this next chart here. I learned this a long, long time ago. I would not say that I'm always able to put it into effect, but today I do a better job because I set intentions based on these facts. You know, my daughter, who just turned 56, my goodness gracious, loved field hockey, but she never loved golf until later in life. The first time I took her out to play golf, she had, and this is hard to do in golf, she had a natural swing. She was 14 years old when I finally convinced her to come play golf with me. And she hit the ball about 190 yards off the tee. First shot. I mean, she'd had a few driving range. She had no lessons. She just hit it. And it had a slight draw to it. I'm still trying to learn how to do that. But she had the ability to do that. That was because it was just natural to her. She has natural athletic ability. And what happens here, as an example, is that she was an unconscious competent. She didn't even know that was good. So she was not aware of her innate ability to swing a golf club in the right way. Also, what we have up here is the conscious competent. And the conscious competent, that's up there twice. I don't know why. The unconscious competent, the conscious competent is a person who, like professional golfers, excuse me using that, but I kind of like that game, are people who hit a golf ball 1,000 times a day. Not the same one, but golf balls 1,000 times a day. They do it for years as youth in order to become as good as they are. And so they are, when they hit golf ball, they know what they're doing. They have a pretty good idea where it's going, and usually goes that way because they've practiced so much, and they understand, they are self-aware of their ability as a golfer to be a pro. And as we start to look at that and understand that, what we see is that we have also that's the conscious competent. We also have an unconscious incompetent. That's down at the bottom. That's the most dangerous. I think I know what I'm doing. I've convinced myself I know what I'm doing. I can convince you I know what I'm doing, and you even believe me. And I don't know what I'm doing. You ask the board, they'll tell you that, okay? So anyway, so there's these three. The fourth one I've not put together properly, and I apologize. As we start to look at those four competence, okay? It's the unconscious incompetent, the conscious competent, the unconscious competent, and the consciousness of a competent. Anyway, as we start to look at that, hopefully I haven't confused you too much. What happens is we start to understand there's a difference between consciousness and awareness. Now I want to bring this home to what unity talks about from that, and what unity teaches from that standpoint. And what we are saying when we look at that is that we are able to live in self-consciousness because of the law of mind action. We can only be effective with the law of mind action unless we are aware of where we are. It's not effective when we don't know where we are. Because you and I, through the power of faith, understanding, imagination, and a strong belief that we have the ability to bring things into existence and manifest, are able to use the law of mind action. But that takes a sense of self-awareness. And then, if you start to look at the law of mind action again, what you see is whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve, regardless of how many times you may have failed in the past. Napoleon Hill. When I read that, I was about 22 years old. Somebody gave me the book. And that book changed my life. Because I started to understand that I had some abilities that I didn't think I had. I started to become more aware of my abilities. And somewhere in my readings, I don't know if it was Napoleon Hill or who, but anyway, what it said is, you have the ability to create your world. And when you have the ability to create your world, then be careful. Be aware. And use that awareness to do good things for people. And when I came into Unity, I kind of saw that, not quite written that way, but I read it in Fillmore's works, I read it in Emily Cady's works, I read it in Eric Butterworth's, and on, many, many authors, and many people who write new thought material, new thought ideas. And it was continuous, and it was positive. And so, as I started to understand that, I started to look at the law of manifestation. The law of mind action is the ability to take ideas and put them into a sense and put them into your imagination and create a picture. When you create that picture, you then start to set an intention to bring that picture into existence. And when you do that, if you focus on it, if you understand it, if you keep your faith, if you have an understanding faith, then what will happen is that particular goal, that intention you have set, will come into being. It will happen. And sometimes, because we don't quite have, not the faith, I don't want to say that, we have all the faith we need, because we don't exercise our faith in a certain way, then what happens is that we fail. But remember, even if you failed before, if you continue to focus and do the work necessary, then you will bring into being that which will carry you literally through life, through relationships, and help you understand that you are built in the image and likeness of God. That which created us. It's not a person. It's not out there somewhere. It's within us and responds because it is within us. And so as we start to understand that and look at that, what we understand is that you and I have that power to manifest. And then, as we move along here, I think, living in self-awareness. That was the end. Thank you. Anyway, it's not really the end. The big debate between science sometimes and faith or religion or spirituality is that the consciousness, again, I said earlier, comes from the brain. The consciousness does not come from the brain. It also, they do not believe that consciousness has power over matter. I don't know why, but they don't. That's what they write about. And what you and I understand is that consciousness comes from the heart space. Consciousness comes from an awareness of who we are and where we are. Consciousness comes from looking at our screen of life and saying, I don't want to be that way, and setting a new attention. Consciousness is always there. Self-awareness is not always there. So our responsibility, I believe, and I say our, not pointing a finger, is to understand that we are to be self-aware, that we are to live in self-aware, because this is a self-aware universe. Thank you. Now, so, just gently rub your hands together, creating some energy. Bringing out the energy in you. And then stop for a moment and breathe gently. I am aware. I am conscious. I am beingness. And in a place of beingness, we let our heart open wide. We feel that space, that heart space. And know that all of a sudden, in a moment, we are in that place on high where we are connected in oneness to everything in us, around us, and that transcend us. And we just sit in the silent, in awe of how wonderfully we have been created and our abilities to change our lives. And now just take a moment to think of something that you would like to change in your life. Hold that in consciousness throughout this day, throughout this week. Because change within is important and necessary to grow in spirit. And so it is, in the name and the power of the Christ that resides within each of us, we say thank you, thank you, thank you for a grateful universe. Amen.
Flow, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Show, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love.
So, I would like to invite you to take this opportunity. You can go on your phone, and we'll tell you how to do that in a minute, to make a donation, a love offering to Unity Renaissance. It is your donations, it is your offerings that provides the means through which we operate this ministry. And we cannot operate it without you. So we appreciate the gifts that you give. We appreciate the work that you do. We appreciate not only your tithes, but your time and your talent. Each and every one of you. And so, remember that what you can do is you can go via your smartphone. You can give a gift in the back. You can go online and give a gift. Or you can call this number and make a gift.
Text to give.
540-418-1228. Text now.
And now let's take a moment to bless the intention that we've made. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful.
Give him back to you. Give and it's giving back to you. Give and it's giving back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. Back in good measure, it's giving back to you. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do
The Christ in me sees the Christ in me.
I can do all
Christ in me sees the Christ in me.
I can do all
Christ in me sees the Christ in me.
Well, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome anybody here for the first time. They call them newcomers, but more importantly, they're first-timers, because that means there's a possibility you may come back. If you're here for the first time today, would you please raise your hand? Our ushers want to share a gift with you. Looking around, thank you so much. Thank you, right up front here. Good. And I can talk directly to you. I won't ask you to say anything, but what I want you to know is you take that to the bookstore and you fill out the paper inside, they have another gift for you. But most importantly, I hope that you will return to get to know and appreciate this wonderful, loving group of people. So thank you for being here. Now, another surprise this morning. I have somebody I want to introduce to you that you know better than you know me. And she's agreed to become our volunteer coordinator. And her name is Penny Hutton. Penny? Hudson. I said it wrong, didn't I? Thank you. Penny, come on up, Mike. Oh, you got it. There we go. Would you please share what you said with me the other day when you said I'm going to do this, if you remember? Kind of, I'm sorry. You probably had something you want to say. I apologize.
That's fine. Oh, can you guys hear me? Wow. So I had no idea that I would be back up here on the stage so soon after my talk. But, well, here I am, right? When I first came to Unity Renaissance, some 30-some years ago, I knew this was the place for me. I knew there was something special about this place. The message resonated. There was something about the people, and I knew I could grow spiritually. But I was recently divorced, young mother with a young child, and I didn't know anybody. So I got helping in the kitchen right away. I joined the choir. I got involved with the group that we don't have anymore, but we used to have something called the Light Crew, and we put on plays and productions, and Dakota knows about that. She was in that, you as well, yeah. And we sponsored the Renaissance Fair and a whole host of other fundraisers. And I got to know people, and I made some really lifelong friends. Some who are still here. Some have passed on since then, and some have, moved on. But if you want to be connected, if you want to get to know people, if you're a newcomer or not, you want to be in the heart of what's going on at this church, and if you want to make a difference in people's lives, then volunteer. Help out in the kitchen. Volunteer for an event. Come talk to me. But I warn you, there's a chance that you might transform lives, that transform the world, and that one of those lives that you might transform may be you. Thank you.
Thank you, Penny. The life you transform might be your own. Might be your own.
Amazing.
Well, today's a big day. We have between the service and our election of new board members, we have a great vegan potluck for you today. And it says potluck because a lot of folks here have brought vegan dishes. But if you didn't bring one, there you have made up some vegan sandwiches for sale, so that everybody is included. And if you want to tip your toe into the world of veganism, try one of these vegan sandwiches because they're good. As long as it's got bread in it, I'm okay.
Tortillas.
Whatever's in between there.
Actually, wonderful tortillas. I saw them making them up, so at least they were delicious wraps when I snuck into the kitchen earlier, so it looks really yummy. There were even some cookies on a tray, too. So, if you got a sweet tooth like me, there's some good things there, too.
I don't know what they're charging, but it's probably not enough.
Probably not, but there you go. You can always give more if you'd like, Richard. It's a love offering. It's a love offering. So, as Richard just mentioned, today we do have our annual meeting. Like the name suggests, we have it once a year. So we're going to be electing 2 new Board of Trustee members. So they are a part of our leadership and amazing servants for helping to, be the glue or one of the facets of the glue that holds us together. So come be involved in that. Also, though, we'll have an update on our finances as well as an update from our ministerial committee. So you know what's going on with that. So stick around, eat some awesome food, and hang out for the annual meeting. It's going to be available, obviously, in person for the meeting, but also for those of you online. There's the Zoom ID if you want to log in and also participate.
And if you didn't write that down, just go to our website, and it's right big there on the homepage, too, that Zoom link.
So 12:30 is the technical time, but make sure you grab something to eat in between there. And then we've got Sandy coming up for a spotlight right now.
Hello, Unity Renaissance, everywhere, wherever you are. What? Okay. I once again have the pleasure of introducing you to the artist for the January-February show. Tanya Hobson is here with us, and she's also... Those of you who have been here for a while may remember, or maybe not, but Tanya's first show ever was here at Unity Renaissance in July and August of 2019. It was a show that was dedicated to her mother. It was called Heaven's Garden. But this one is florals, faces, and figures. And not only is she going to, we can enjoy everything here, but another first is that she has her prints and note cards and such in the sanctuary. You can talk to her about possibly commissioned items, smaller ones, the prints, anything you'd like. There's quite a breadth and depth of her art, and I'll believe you see it when you go out and enjoy the art. Anyway, yes?
I commissioned her to paint my 3 granddaughters, and she did a wonderful job. My 3 granddaughters.
For you online, that was a testimonial. She was commissioned to do your granddaughters and did an awesome job. So yeah.
Anyway, she has a passion for art, and it's been a dream come true for her to share her art with all of us. So again, Tanya Hobson.
And thank you, Sandy Steffen. Give
Thank
Sandy
you,
a
Sandy.
hand. She started this art boutique for us many years ago, and it's been awesome.
The colors are amazing.
Yes.
So just, woo!
You can commission her to paint your flowers as well. Those are very good. Coming up on Thursday, this Thursday, February 1st, is Donna Shannon in her sound bowl, sound healing meditation. She's gathered quite a loyal following because this is such a sacred time. She uses the sounds of bowls and breath and music to kind of channel and get in touch with that inner divine presence that flows within all of us. And, some people love those bowls. They just vibrate you into the ethers. So, yeah, this here tonight, this Thursday, 7 o'clock, right here, Donna Shannon's sound bath meditation.
So in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today, or the weekend, 2 weeks from now, we have a very special guest coming. So Reverend Arlene Meyer is a potential senior minister for us. She is one of the candidates, and she's coming the weekend of February 10th and 11th. On Saturday, February 10th at 10 a.m., she's going to be presenting a workshop, Withstanding Life's Challenges and Changes. So it's a free workshop. Just need to sign up on the website. Come, be present. I believe the workshop as well as the service will be in person and online, but come be a part of it. Then on Sunday, she's going to be doing the talk, and that one's letting go. Let's see. Thanks. And I practiced this all morning too, getting the titles right, and I don't remember. Let's see. Okay, yeah. It's a letting go as we swing through life. I knew there was like a cool, motion aspect to it. Okay, so Reverend Arlene, letting go as we swing through life, and then afterwards there's going to be a Q&A. So we can ask her questions to see, does she seem like she would be the right and perfect person for our spiritual community? So that's in 2 weeks. Please mark your calendars for that. Okay, and now let's bring the children. So would everybody please stand?
We are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for your patience. And parents, I promise that when you wash the clothes, the paint will come out. It's okay. It'll be safe, I promise. Don't freak out when you see them. Okay? We had tons of fun. As you could tell. So let's begin with my offertory. So do I have an offertory angel? Could you bring me the basket, sweetheart? Thank you, Maverick. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Oh, sweet, sweet spirit. Thank you so much for today. For the rain that allow everything to blossom in the spring, for our smiles and our joys, for our sharing and our creativity, and for the monetary gifts, for this, everything, big and small, we thank you so much, and so it is. Amen. Okay, I'm going to start with our big kids today. I think we have a sharer back here, our leader, Jeremiah.
About what mustard seeds are and how small things can have a bigger meaning to them.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, our littles, do we have a share in the littles? Anyone, Maverick, you'd like to share? Good. Oh, that's beautiful.
I use my faith to have courage.
And our kids, who's sharing? Ava? Okay.
So today we made rainbow trees, and the lesson behind this is that I had faith where I believed. I believe that it looks good. It doesn't matter what other people's opinions or what they think.
Okay. Just a little fun. B and I did our lessons totally separate, and the little kids did a rainbow, and the big kids did a rainbow, and we didn't even realize it. And one of the kids shared that after every rainstorm, there's always a rainbow. We can have faith that it's always there, and I thought that was a really beautiful sentiment I wanted to share. With that, please stand for the prayer of protection and the peace song.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.